Hey everybody. Hey Asaf. Hey Chris behind the scenes.
Hello.
Hello to all our friends.
Yes.
Missed you last week. Hey K13 from Jamaica. All right. Hello everybody from all around the world. And shout out to our great friend Tosh in the UK who wrote our
Right.
amazing opening theme song. And to any of you who will be at the Kabu retreat in 2 weeks, I will see you there. And Asaf will see you virtually.
Yes.
Welcome to Kevin James in the UK and hello Hussein from Turkey. Welcome to the Great Transition. You're going to do a
Yes.
session on the Great Transition, aren't you, at the retreat? I saw the lineup.
I will
I'm
do
looking
we
forward to
will
that.
do a lot of things. There's gonna be many surprises. This it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, so we have all kind of on-demand and live courses, Kabbalah courses, and we're having a physical retreat, if you can believe it. We have,
It's
I
a
think, half.
hybrid. It's a hybrid
Right, it's
actually. It's
hybrid. It's
it's
hybrid. More than
it's
half the
yeah.
guests, the friends who are coming, will be virtual. That's true.
Not only that, the event itself, by in its nature, is going to be a hybrid event. It's not going to be just happening in a place and then people tuning into it. It's going to be happening in a place and in, the broadcast coming from different places around the world, from different instructors around the world. And there will be like a two-way kind of communication with participants you know, from their virtual locations from wherever they are in the world, participating into the event in like
It's awesome, man.
two
This kind of like
directions. Yeah,
on-demand wisdom is amazing, and it shows that there's no borders in this new world. And I see my kids are back in physical school. My younger son, who had a birthday today, he told me this morning. He goes, "It's such a waste of time, going to the building."
smart kid.
It- yeah, really. You could have one. We say this all the time. You could have an amazing teacher. Could teach. She could teach 100,000 kids
Right,
online.
right.
Give a
Yeah,
teacher $1 million, pay him great, let him teach a
yeah,
million kids at once.
yeah.
So he
And
said.
and you know what did he say? What did he say?
He said.
Tell me.
He said, "Well, what about how are you going to ask questions?" So so good
How
point.
are you gonna ask questions? What do you
If you have a
mean?
million kids in a class, how would you ask questions? So
Oh well,
there's
that will be easily solved with the AI. But well, for another discussion. Yeah.
so
Anyway,
okay.
saying school's boring is like an impulse kind of it's a feeling, right? But saying how did he say it? It's a waste of time. That's already like an intellectual scrutiny. It's like weighing the situation and just seeing that it's not beneficial. So that's why I said smart kid. Very, uh, you know, smart thinking. Anyway, yeah.
Friends, here we are at the Great Transition Show. We're with you every week on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We are looking at what is going on in the world through the lens of the wisdom of Kabbalah. Saf and I somehow got these great jobs. It's not to sit here and teach the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's here to talk about life with you, to talk
Which
about what's going on in the world, but doing it through the lens of the wisdom of Kabbalah. And what does that mean? A Kabbalist kind of lives in two worlds. In this world, completely food, sex, money, honor, knowledge, all of the things, power, all the things from this world, and then also a reality beyond time and space. This time that we're in right now, we're calling it the Great Transition. Okay, what does it mean? It means this is called, as Bala Salam calls it, we're the last generation. It means that the corporeal development, our material development, is coming to its completion. It's not a scary thing. It may sound scary, but hold on. Let's get into what that means. What does it mean that this great transition? What are we transitioning into? Does it mean just that yesterday my car was running on gas and tomorrow my car is running on solar and now we got a great world, and yesterday I had to do my own laundry and today I have a robot to do my laundry? Is that all we're talking about? Are we talking about something way, 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 way beyond that? So that's what this great transition is all about. Asaf, there's something very in our faces recently, and that's
Yeah,
what I'd like to talk about today.
Talk
That
talk
is,
to me
I
about
wish
what's
I
in
wish
our
I had a
faces.
beep. I
Tell
wish I had
me.
a button here. If we get a budget someday, like give me a button I could, like when I want to curse, I can push. It's like beep beep.
Yeah.
There's so much lying
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Everything. Like if I see something in the news,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, that's the lie. What's the truth? What makes a
Yeah.
comedian funny is that there's like a truth to what they say. That's how they kind of like pivot the joke off of some
Right.
morsel of truth.
Sure.
That's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Um, you
Wait, so
know,
you're saying you watch the news and it's funny?
no, I watch the news and it's
And it's
it's
not funny.
depressing and horrible and it's all lies and it's terrible. And without this wisdom, I
Hmm.
would be curled up in a ball somewhere, just trying to. Or actually, without this wisdom, I probably would just be living some
Hmm.
really nice island somewhere, just enjoying myself and just let the whole world burn. Let
Just
me enjoy this
just
coconut.
indifference, complete indifference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just
Yeah, I get
let
that.
me.
I get that. Yeah.
Is everybody familiar? I know we have a lot of people on our show who aren't from the States, but the president, John F. Kennedy, who had an affair with Marilyn Monroe and then he was
Mm.
assassinated, that guy. Everyone
Yeah.
knows about him, maybe.
I think it's
There was a US
widely known. I think it's widely known. Yeah.
there was a US president. This is not a political show, so we're not going to get into politics, but the story goes that a certain bullet went through him and another guy, and then it traveled down, and then it traveled off to the side, and then it went over here, and then it went out, and it's defied physics that a bullet could make this path and whatever. But the
Mm-hmm.
official story from the US government was it was a single guy. It's pretty clear, not a
Is this going
politics
to be a
show.
conspiracy
No
theory show?
conspiracies. No
Okay.
conspiracies. What I want to tell you is this. What I want to tell you is when you have a little kid, little child, and you want him to stay close to you in a crowd. You say, "Oh, there's a policeman over there. You don't want to go over there." So the kid stays with you.
Right.
Okay? You lie to the kid. It's a innocent, nice lie. There's a reason
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
If that kid is now 30 years old and you're playing that same game, there's either a problem with you and how you raise your kid. There's definitely a problem with the kid.
Agree.
There's, and this is what's going on. And during that JFK assassination, they, let's just say they lied to us. Okay, or the official
Hmm.
story is a lie. Let's just say it, regardless of whether or not it
Okay.
seems
Okay.
very unlikely. Today, the difference today, Asaf, is that everyone has a phone with a camera. So somebody would have been on that grassy knoll and everyone's catching everything. So today, the problem is we're being told lies all the time and we know it's a lie because
Yes.
we caught them paying, like
Hmm.
for example, in this country now.
Wait, there's two things here that you bring up, but you're gonna relate to this, I'm sure. But I'll just point out what I'm seeing here. There's two things. One is everyone. It's harder to lie on the one hand because we're more, communication revolution, social media, phones, cameras everywhere. But on the other hand, it's also becoming clearer that everyone's lying. So
Everyone's lying. And I don't
yeah.
know that it's becoming harder to lie. Actually, I think they don't care. Meaning, what you're saying is
Mm,
it would be easier to be caught lying, but it doesn't matter because even when you're
mm.
caught, for example, in the United States, the politicians are the easiest target because everything that comes out of their
Yeah,
mouth
give me
is
give me
total
some
lie.
examples so I can
Okay, for
feel what you're
for for
talking about.
example,
Okay.
for example, to fly in the United States, you need some kind of or to come into the United States, you need some kind of you need to show some proof of vaccine or some negative test
Right.
results or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants coming over the border. This is not about politics. This is not about immigration. Just to point something out,
Right.
okay? These people walked from Haiti. Well, you can't walk from Haiti. I don't know how somehow they got over the water and then walked up South America, through Central America, walked half a continent to get here. And
Mm.
the press secretary, the White House press secretary, when asked, well, you're requiring citizens to, or people here to
Mhm.
fly to have, to come into the country to show vaccine or negative test.
Yeah.
But what about all the illegal immigrants coming over the border? You're
Right.
not requiring them to have anything. And
Right.
she says, well, they're not planning to stay here.
That is kind of right.
They
Okay.
walked
Okay.
half
I
of a
see what you're saying.
continent.
Yeah.
They walked
Hmm.
half a, so they just lie. Everything out of their mouth is just a lie. The whole,
Hmm.
where's Greta? Where's Greta Thunberg? Whatever, save the
Thunberg.
environment.
Thunberg.
Thunberg,
Yeah.
stop with the fossil fuels. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened.
Tell me what happened.
Different, different economic interests or political interests are around the in the energy sector. So you have oil. There's a lot of wars fought over oil and all kind of
Sure.
policies and subsidies over oil. But now, Amazon just bought 100,000 electric
Mm.
tractor trailers, trucks to move stuff.
Okay.
We talked about this on our show. The the little, the people, the kids, the women, whoever who's in these lithium mines, who's in these
Oh, right.
mines
Hmm.
to make what you need for these electric vehicles, it's ecological devastation. It is a lie. There is no green revolution, people. There's no green revolution. Find out where your recycling goes. It goes into the same trash dump.
Mm.
Find out, okay, if okay, let me tell you something. And remember, it's a Kabbalah show. I'm just fired up about this topic and we're going to get to it. But if you, if you lived a sustainable life, you went vegan, you only
Okay.
wore I don't know, the same rags every single day, right? Because animals account for a lot of the
Yeah. Okay. And
things.
I don't drive, and I
Go vegan, and you
recycle, and
don't
I don't
drive,
make
you do
meat, and
bicycle.
yes.
If you lived
Yes.
your entire life like that,
Yeah.
savings would equal 1 second of the emissions produced in a day by the energy sector.
And that's if I
You
did everything right. Yeah.
everything
Right.
right. You're
Hmm.
insignificant. It's a lie. You know who came up with this kind of personal green responsibility? One of the oil companies about 20 years ago,
That
BP. They
makes
come up with
sense.
this thing
Hmm.
about your personal carbon footprint. Why? Because
Hmm.
now they tell me if I use a paper straw,
Right.
what a lie. What an idiotic lie. They are
Yeah.
devastating the
Yeah.
planet.
No.
They're
I'm
raping the
sure
planet.
that when when you look at the data at what actually can make a change, I'm sure it's not the plastic straws.
Oh my God,
The
it's
problem
ridiculous.
we're
It's such a
dealing
lie.
with, yeah, the problem we're dealing with climate change is so much bigger and more intricate and complicated, and it's across the board in everything that we produce, because our entire industry is built in a way that was not taken into account what it does to the planet. And so there's really no chance in the world that if you drink from what is it,
Paper
paper
straws.
straws your whole
So
life,
stupid. But you know what it
that's
does? It makes a person calm
it,
down.
and it's a shift of
It's a
responsibility.
lie. It's
Yeah.
a lie. It makes a
Mm.
person calm down and feel better about themselves. Meanwhile, they take their plastic cup with the plastic cap in their waxed
Okay.
paper bag. Oh,
Okay. But
it's okay.
these are lies for, let's say, power, ultimately, to maintain power, to have power, to shift responsibility, to paint a situation in some other colors so that the real situation won't be evident.
But
Okay.
what I'm
uh,
what I'm
yeah.
interested. Listen, I could tell you about lies in politics. I could tell you about lies in media. I could tell you about lies in business. I could tell you about my kid's school. I got a doc. I keep going on. I keep getting, I just want to get to the point. But they sent the document home. It
Yeah.
says, we're going to issue your child a computer, and we are going to, we can record everything they say uh,
Wait, so
on it.
your kid gets a free computer,
School issues a computer.
and
School issues.
and
It's
the
got to be a
condition.
millions of dollar contract for to do it. And who knows who
So
got paid
every
for that?
kid in the school gets
Every
a
kid is
gets.
eligible, can
Mhm.
get a Mac laptop, matte gray, nice.
Right.
laptop. But the thing you have to sign,
What do you
one of the
sign?
things says we can record anything that your child does. We can
Mm.
record their where they are. We can record anything, video and audio, every keystroke. And you know what the clause is called?
Mm-hmm.
The anti Big Brother clause. It's just right in your face.
Yeah.
It's no,
Yeah.
it's no, that's exactly Big Brother.
Yeah.
So everything is just a lie. Everything. They're
Right.
lying to us with the food. They're lying to us with money. They're lying to us with politics. And my question
Medicine.
to you,
Medicine.
medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many 300 children were shot in Chicago
Wow.
this year? 300 children were shot in Chicago.
Mm.
217 children died of COVID this year
Mm.
in the United States. So,
Wow.
so,
Proportions,
so
huh?
so okay, so let's deal with why don't we deal with all these kids getting shot? I mean, that's something we could do. It's just, the point is there's agendas, we don't know why, and we're not a political show, and we're not getting into that. My point and what I want to get to with you
Yes.
is,
Mm-hmm.
why is everything a lie all the time? Why can't anyone tell the truth? What is the issue?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Why
No.
is everyone lying constantly
Yeah.
about everything?
After all these examples you pointed out, it's very clear that it's everywhere, isn't it? Like
Everywhere.
it's at the core of our culture. I would say it's in politics, it's in economics. It's like the more you rise to any kind in any kind of scale in human society, to any kind of rank or position or office, the steps that you need to take in order to get there have to involve falsehood. And then that system also produces lies towards its customers, so to speak, whether they are, whether they are financial customers or citizens, which are customers of the political system, so to speak. So yeah. Yeah. Or
How does that
viewers, you know
how does this fit in? Listen, if
yeah.
everything is intentional and there's a
Yeah.
purpose to all of this transition that we're going through as a humanity,
Yes.
how does this fit into
it's
the great transition
it
that
fit
everybody is lying? Listen, we want to live a
Yeah.
life of peace and love, and we want everything to be good for everybody. But the closer we get
and
towards the
and
more we're
that's
moving
that
towards that, the more lies we see everywhere.
and that's great. It's exactly right,
You're
man.
going to have to explain that to me.
That's
Why is that great?
exactly that's the beautiful thing, because we are first of all, the only way to come closer to truth is through to go through the falsehood. There's a great article from Kabbalist Rabash, who writes about this in the context of our spiritual work, the development of the soul, but the development of the spiritual perception of reality. So you have to go through the falsehood to achieve truth. But what's happening now in the 21st century, that is compounded by and becomes more evident by the communication revolution, is that we're all liars, we're all lying to each other, all our systems are built on that. And look at what social media also is encouraging. The way it's built, it encourages us to put filters on our pictures and put our best foot forward and show ourselves and present ourselves as something
No, no,
that we're
hold
not
on, hold
really
on.
are.
Putting our best foot forward is something different than putting filters on. Putting filters is
uh
not my best foot. Putting filters is something
mhm.
that's a lie.
Right, but also not, showing a certain part of yourself is a certain concealment. Okay, not a lie, it's withholding. I don't have a problem with that. Let's differentiate withholding and lying. That's fine. That's fine. I agree. But back to to the original question, why is this a good thing? Why am I saying it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing because it is embedded in the evolutionary trajectory for us. We need to discover that, to recognize our own evil, so to speak, our own nature, our own falsehood. We need to see that we're living in a world where we're lying to each other constantly, and it's the only way to get things done in this world. This is the reality. If you're a politician, if you want to be a big businessman, if you just want to have following on social media, if you want to do media, news media, anything in the world today, you have to take it upon yourself to be a liar to some extent, right? Now, that's just why is this good? It is revealing to us the structure of our world, more specifically, the structure of human relationships. We have to discover that we relate to each other in falsehood and deceit. We have to see that in front of our faces, and so one, we have to experience it, but two, in our time, and that's the unique and unprecedented thing, never happened before, because of the or through the communication revolution, the information revolution, social media and so forth, cameras everywhere, because of that, we are beginning to be conscious of it, to be aware of
We
it.
used to be okay. We almost used to be okay living under we like agreed to being lied to. And like when I think back, like we kind of
Hmm.
unconsciously agreed to it in a sense because the
What do you mean?
problems are just, I mean, you're a teenager, there's big problems, but
Mm.
and the politicians are corrupt and whatever, but there was, imagine when we were, 20,
Yeah.
right? Like, the politicians are making deals and doing whatever, but they're doing it kind of over there. And I'm still over here and I have my friends and I have my house and I have my
Yes. Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
like, I know they're lying, but it's like, and it's still affecting me, of course. Like,
But
where are they going to build the road
the
to
lies
town?
are
Where are they going
hidden.
to tax me?
The lies were hidden.
They were
Today,
hidden.
it's in
Right.
your face. Yes, exactly.
Right.
It's
Right.
in your
Like they're
face. It's everywhere.
like there's they're exactly, like they're taxing us and taxing us and taxing us. And what are they spending it on? Now we see they're spending it. They're just throwing it, wasting it in every place, every government agency. You go to, we have it called the DMV, where you go to get your driver's license and stuff. It
Yeah.
is out of control how
Mm.
not well run it is. I had to go for a passport a few months ago. Like these government agencies, it's just so much waste and
Hmm.
so not run well. But they just tax you and take your money and wait. Right? But before, 20 years ago or whatever it was, it's like these things, but it was like, in a sense,
It's
it was like,
behind the
oh
scenes. It was
yeah,
behind the scenes, under the carpet, under the table. However,
everything is
yeah.
in your face today. And the
Yep.
weird thing is, we know they're lying to us.
Hmm.
And I see a lot of people that, even though it's clear that there's a lie, they still, to
The
actually
the
like
the
digest
next
the lie.
stage, the next stage for us, uh, after we become conscious that that falsehood is embedded in our man-made systems, and especially politics is especially where it comes, where it comes out so clearly, because politics is all about the structure, the fabric, the order of human society. It's literally about us trying to conduct ourselves, managing ourselves. It's about social human relationships, power relationships. That's why it is the place where it becomes most evident, most in your face. But the next stage for us is not just to be conscious that we are like that, but also,
Like, you and me are also like that.
oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. We shouldn't, um uh instead of being angry at, we can
I'm
point
angry.
fingers. Okay, we can be angry. We can, instead of just being angry, okay,
Okay.
we can point fingers and we can go and say, there you go. Here's this politician lying to us once again. Here's this news anchor lying to us once again. Here is the social media platforms lying to us again. By the way, they a little tangent. That's something worth pointing out. The social media platforms, those gigantic companies like Twitter and Facebook and Google and YouTube, same thing, Google and so forth. They caught themselves in a very weird spin because they became, in order to hold on to power, and they have tremendous power. Some would argue they have the most. They're the most powerful when it comes to influencing the human psyche, the collective human psyche. So, in order to hold on to power, they had to take upon themselves the role of judges and arbiters. From they are now hiring people in the by the thousands to be to determine whether something is fake news or not. You know what I mean? And they have some sort of of an obligation. They as if call it moral obligation. Yeah, another funny kind of false false facade, right? Why do they care? Why does Twitter care all of a sudden about banning people who are who are going against promoting violence, let's say, or something like that? First of all, there is so much hypocrisy. You can see how they promote one politician, well, while you have, I don't know, the Taliban on Twitter, or other terrorist organizations. There's a lot of hypocrisy that you'll find there, but they had to do that because they understood that it's so that if they are not seen as taking care of this, getting involved in that, in judging what's right or wrong, they're going to be left without power. They're going to be the people will leave them. So it's a very interesting kind of thing that's happening with the social media platform specifically. But anyway, we have to go through a phase of the called in Kabbalah the recognition of evil, and that's exactly what's happening right now. The
The
Yeah,
recognition of evil
yes, and that means that you
sounds like a
shouldn't be.
trailer for a movie.
That means don't
We
be
have to
angry.
go.
Don't be angry at the politicians. Don't just be angry at the politicians. Be angry, but don't just be angry. Don't just be angry at the tycoons, the news anchors, or the social media giants, or anyone else who's lying to you. But understand that we are discovering a necessary and vital and um, and 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 important component of human nature. It is becoming revealed. At the same time, what's happening in our time in the 21st century, we're going to also discover, and this is going faster and faster now thanks to COVID and other circumstances, we're also going to see that we're increasingly interdependent. And that's the big paradox of the 21st century. We can't stop ourselves from lying to each other, but we're gradually seeing that we are globally interdependent, and lying to others is lying to myself at the end of the day. We're not there yet. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but that's where we're going. This is what will shape the future transition that we have to go through.
What is
Yeah.
Saf? What does it mean that I realize? I used to believe in my clergy,
Mm.
my priest, my rabbi, my whatever. I used to believe my politicians somewhat. I used to believe that the
Mm-hmm.
school that I sent my kids to, that my kids were going to be safe there and they were going to learn what they needed to learn now.
Yeah.
I used to believe, the leaders. And I get to the point where I don't have faith that there's going to be food in the store. And I don't believe that the leaders are telling me the truth. And I don't believe that they're preparing my
Yeah.
children for the
Yeah.
future that they need. And I don't trust my doctor. and I don't trust my clergy that they actually know what's going on. And I'm getting to a
Yes.
point where I can't trust anyone.
And it's
And not I
it
can't
has to
trust my
happen.
I can't trust my I can't tell my political beliefs to my neighbor even, or I can't tell to I can't
Mhm.
even open I'm afraid to open my mouth around anyone because I don't know who's going to turn on me. So I don't trust anyone. So then what
Wait.
happens?
That's you went a little bit into the hostility between us, but
I'm
let's stay.
talking about a person. I'm talking about
Yeah,
any person
let's just
anywhere
stay with the
who
person that you've described in a minute ago, which is being in a situation where you can't trust anyone with regards to if what you're being told is right or not, and then it influences everything in your life, right? Every area of your life is,
person wakes up
yeah,
and they don't trust anyone anymore. They
yeah.
can't trust the news. They can't trust. So where does that leave us? And why are you calling it good?
It's good because we have to rise to a different level of trust. The world where you had leaders and heroes and you know people who were leaders of other people, that world is largely going is ending. We are beginning to see that there are no saints, there are no holy people, there are no brave, great, people who are better than us, or everyone is more or less becoming the same thing. We are all becoming apparent, becoming revealed as egoists. Egoism is the nature, it's the preliminary, the initial, the basic, innate nature of the human being. It is the force of human development that's been developing us for the past 200,000 years. That's what we've got. This is thanks to
Okay, hold
that.
on. Hard stop. Hard
Yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Hard stop. If nature developed us
yeah.
from monkeys, from amoebas, from whatever, for all this time until now, and this is how we turned out,
Mm-hmm.
then we should be blaming nature for this. There's no one to really blame. Then I can't blame all these liars, even if nature
That's
made them like this.
Yes, that's exactly the point. And if you, and look, this is, I'm going to bring up a difficult question. Everyone can think about it for
My
themselves.
favorite kind of questions.
But okay, if you put yourself in, in the shoes of the politician that lies to you, or the businessman that lies to you, or the whatever whoever wrote this thing in the that you have to sign for your kid's MacBook, right? The If you put yourself in their shoes, you shouldn't be so sure that you wouldn't turn out exactly the same way. Now, that's a question for everyone to think for themselves, but we need to understand there is something in the environment and the dynamic, sort of like the music of the development of human society, that everyone dances according to. And that is the growth of human egoism. It is not by chance that we've become such a society where today we are seeing that there is falsehood everywhere, and you cannot trust, you cannot even look for truth in whoever has a position on top, who governs, who manages a part of society, private sector, public sector, doesn't matter. This is it's a natural trajectory. Why is this a good thing? It's Well, first of all, let's just look objectively at what we've, with all that egoistic culture that we've developed. Look at what we've been able to do. This ego is a an engine of progress. We compete with each other. We try to deceive each other at some points in some things, but until a certain point in our development, it helps us advance. This is what made certain people discover other parts of the world. Think Magellan and Columbus, and this is what made people establish transportation systems. This is what made people establish trade and commerce. This is what made us this hyper globalized, very advanced modern society that we are today. But there comes a point where all of those intricate connections that we've made between us made us so interdependent that now this culture is no longer is beginning to be unsustainable because we've grown too interdependent for it. That's where a shift, that's where a big major fundamental transition needs to occur, because interdependence is not going
what is all
anywhere.
the lying? What does the lying have to do with it?
Because
Okay, you
we
talked about
wouldn't be able to grow otherwise. That's it.
you, okay, you
Think about
talked
a
about
child. Think about a child who grows. You're a father, you have kids. Me too. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have kids too. You can see that the development of a child involves testing out uh, uh, all kinds of abilities, right? You see that it also involves trying to manipulate your environment, being cunning, trying to check to test your borders, and also understanding that there can be a difference between who you really are or what you really want and how you present it to someone in front of you. And also lying to others is something that it comes out of a child naturally. It's something that they do as they understand their own minds. It is a discovery. There's a funny one of the comedians I like has a really great bit about lying, but it's so true because I just recalled it because it talks about human nature. It's like he laughs about I can't remember it exactly, but he just laughs about this exactly, about the child that suddenly discovers that you can lie. It's like, who did this? Who broke this thing at home or something? And then you suddenly discover as a kid, like, you don't know what's going to happen. If you say it's me, it's like, for you, it's like the sky is falling down. And then you say, I don't know, it wasn't me, and everything's fine. And you go, wow, the power to get out of trouble, the amazing power of lying. So it is a natural feature of human development. It comes straight out of the development of the human ego. Anyway, where were we? That's it with regards to that. Yeah.
a person wakes up. Okay, first of all, a person wakes up and they say, I can't trust my politicians.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Uh, I'm not sure what to do about the virus. I don't know who to trust. I don't know. Half the people are wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not wearing masks. You need a vaccine and a mask to go into any restaurant in New York, but you can go into the most crowded subway in New York and you don't need one.
Yeah.
I don't understand what are these rules about. There's people are getting paid more to not work than to work. I don't know what should I do? What am I supposed to do? I don't have faith in any of
Mm-hmm.
the institutions anymore. I don't feel that I can rely on any of the things, on any of the establishment, and on these things that are supposed to be there in a modern
Yeah.
society. So
And the
what
more we will progress with every day that passes, we will see more and more that the foundation of our society is rotten. It is no longer, why is it rotten? Because it's no longer sustainable with the interdependent nature system that we've become. We can't, like you said, the example you just gave. What is COVID showing us? It shows you, look at by the way, this is probably the most pertinent example we have in front of our eyes, right? COVID strikes. Now the world is conflicted still very much about where is it coming from. Was it a lab? Was it a bat? What are they? The vaccine, is it a conspiracy? Is someone, there is so much there is so much lies and deceit and concealment and mistrust that is now exploding with as a result of what? In response to what? In response to the system showing us that we are more interdependent. That's what COVID did at the end of the day. What is a global pandemic? It is a stage of human development that now shows humanity that we're all a global collective entity. That's what this virus is really showing to us from, through a spiritual perspective, through a prism of connection. The unbounded, the interconnection between people, between all human beings, is becoming more revealed. And the result, the response, we're seeing that our egoistic nature towards each other doesn't work with this interdependence. This is the conflict. And it's good. It's great, because that is the only way for us to advance to a higher level of balance. We need, you want
Talk to me. Talk to me
trust,
about talk,
you want,
talk to me about that higher level of balance.
okay, so you want trust, you want balance, you want people to be able to trust each other, you want the leaders of society to be able to speak truth to the people. You want
These leaders, it's impossible. But I would
what?
some leaders, it's impossible with these leaders. But
I didn't. I
either
said
party,
leaders. I
either
didn't say
party.
these leaders, but
Okay.
that there's gonna have to be an overall change in all our systems. But if you want all of that, if you want that, you have to acquire a higher force of connection between people. That is what we're missing. We're not gonna be able to change our nature. This is what we are. We are born in such a way and developed by nature in such a way that we have an egoistic society that we live in. That's the reality of human nature playing itself out in the 21st century. But we do have the ability to extract from the same natural program that designed this ego, that developed us throughout human history. We have the ability to tap into the binding force of nature and begin to experience a higher level of human connection. That is not in our politics. It's not through lawyers. It's not through ethics. It's not through trying hard to be to be honest towards each other. No, it's a revelation of a new sense, a perception of reality that is now hidden from us. We have to discover that deep inside, behind the what appears to us as the material world, lies a deep inherent connection between all of us, that we are in fact all one. This is what we're going to have to discover. This is the next stage. When we
When
discover it,
Rabash,
if you felt that everyone else is a part of you, wouldn't that immediately change how you relate to them and how you behave towards them? If you felt.
yeah, yeah, okay, fine. But you're talking
Mhm.
about something that's completely unrealistic from where we're standing right now, and it's not connected to the story.
That's
So
how it
I want
seems.
to.
I agree. That's how it seems
Okay,
right now.
so when you start opening up the articles of the Rabash, and he starts saying that, well, I thought I was really progressing well. I thought I was doing a great job. Things
Hmm.
started to make sense. I started to have these different feelings of connection. I started to perceive things way bigger than myself. I started to feel part of the system, and then I feel totally black and empty.
Yeah.
I feel I got nothing. I can't even move. And then he says, that's true.
Yes. That is
And
the beauty of of um of spiritual development. This is why, yeah, I can see why it's difficult for people who don't um just a little bit have a little bit of foothold in the inner work that we do as Kabbalists. It would be very hard to relate to what we're saying on a global level. But if you understand that the entire spiritual progress of the human being is to discover two lines, how much I would like to be in this reality of wholeness and oneness and good connection, positive connection, uh, uh, um, love towards all of reality, and then on the other hand, I have to discover that I'm opposite to it. That is the foundation of spiritual development. And so if you are looking at yourself and trying to examine, am I developing spiritually, Kabbalists will tell you, if you discover every day that you are opposite to where you want to be, that is progress.
why?
that that is progress, because the only way for you to desire the true state, the good state, the loving state, is to discover correspondingly that you're opposite to it. That's the only way to grow your desire for it. The
Put it this way:
there's no other
if you were
way.
small, if you were small and you had a small desire, so you could, I want something small. But if you discover that you have this endless abyss, you really need some special remedy at that point.
Yes, and there's another meta aspect of it. I don't know if I'm maybe not the best word to. There's another aspect to it, a very perception based aspect. So Kabbalists don't need to lie more and more and more in order to see their nature. They rather develop a better and better resolution of perception on their own nature. So then the so example, a person walks off the street. Take a person off the street. You meet a person off the street and you tell him, "Are you a good person? Do you lie to people? Are you trying to be honest? Do you like people? Do you try to relate to them as yourself?" So chances are most people will tell you, okay, I don't love humanity, but I think I'm a good guy. I think I'm decent. I think I'm fine. That's kind of. Would you agree that most people will probably say that they think they're not criminal? If I'm not a criminal, I'm not like I'm actively trying to hurt anyone. I'm what do you want? Like I'm living my life and that's it. For the Kabbalist, if you ask the Kabbalist, he'll tell you that he feels like the worst person in the world, the cruelest, the most evil, and
Well, so what does the
and
Kabbalist, what
so
does he
why
see
is
in
that?
himself?
Is it because he became a criminal and started stealing and robbing people? No, it's because he discovers deeper layer of his nature, the nature of the created being that's opposite to the nature of the governing force of nature, which is a force of bestowal. We created beings were created as of by from the opposite quality. Nature's quality is one of unconditional giving, loving, bestowing, giving abundance to all, creating life, giving life. Nature's quality, it's not for, it's good practice to call nature Mother Nature, because the quality of nature is exactly that of a mother. That's
Okay,
what
hold
you
on. So
see.
so wait a
Yeah.
minute, wait a minute.
We
The
are the
quality of
opposite.
nature.
Yeah. Mhm.
The quality of nature, Mother Nature, good, loving, caring.
Yeah.
But you're saying that the Kabbalist discovers his nature is completely opposite,
Only to the only to the
and nature
extent.
made
Sorry.
that in him, in
Yeah.
him, in her.
He only discovers it to the extent that he
So why is it
develops.
good? Why
It's
is it good?
good
We're
because
running out of time here.
it's the it he only discovers his evil to the extent that he wants to be good. So what happens is the spiritual vessel is built from two opposites. The Kabbalist is not, it's not some it's not some saint who is now, became pure and disappears into the ether of goodness of nature. No, it's a person who feels the whole spectrum of feelings from the from the lowest state of creation to the governing force of creation that created it. That is the spiritual vessel. Connecting plus and minus, we call it keter and malchut. It is the greatest tension that can ever exist. Feeling that
So the
spark
lie
of, yeah,
is that malchut, basically,
discovering the
and
falsehood of our nature, discovering the egoism, the oppositeness of our nature, as opposed to the nature of bestowal, is discovering the malchut opposite the keter. And when the keter is discovering that spark of that one spark, non-material quality of love that that represents everything that's higher to our current degree, to whatever we perceive. It is the representative, that tiny spark that we can sense that exists on a higher level. On every level of the spiritual ladder, we have a new keter that we discover. Okay, I'm getting too technical here. The Make it simple. Make it simple. Nature is the governing force of nature is the quality of love and bestowal. We don't really know even what love and bestowal is. Any concept of love or giving that we have comes from our inside ego understanding. We always think about it as a transaction. This is a force of infinite love, unbounded giving. That is what creates life. We, on the other hand, are the opposite nature. We are the nature of reception for ourselves, for our own benefit. That's how our program works. We were created this way deliberately. There's nothing to be mad about. This is where we start. But when we develop, we can come to a point where we discover that the giving force, the force of bestowal, is higher, greater, and it starts to govern our nature, giving us a new intention where we can use all of our desires, as cruel and heavy as they seem. We can learn how to actually use them in balance, in equivalence of form, Kabbalists call it, with that law of nature and therefore with all of humanity.
so
We have to
I
get
would
there. Yeah.
when I go outside, I open the news, I open my news feed, and I see so many lies and so much confusion.
Yes.
I can almost feel confidence because I understand that these systems that are built on exploiting everyone are being exposed. And
Yes.
it's
And
not
and we are being exposed. Yeah.
it's not bad. So I got this too many thoughts at the same time. It's not it looks through kind of the it's not bad that that we got here, because from here, without this, we would have just remained as animals, right? It had to get to this progression because we had to separate ourselves from our animal nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this lie is. Kind of the height of this lie is my individuality. I am now removed from an animal. Okay, that's one part of the progress. Now I'm not looking at one frame at a time and I'm just being angry and frustrated at everything I see in front of me. But what I see happening is now it's time for the great transition. It's time. So there was one switch from my becoming an animal to becoming like a person, so to speak, right? An animal plus, we call ourselves here. So to move from an animal away from it, like the little kid, right? Your little kid.
Yeah.
Who did this? An animal's not going to like lie, or an animal maybe has little tiny lies he can do when he plays games. But the kid's like, who broke the glass? I don't know, right? Wow, now he's not an animal anymore, right? Until that time,
Mm-hmm.
3 years old,
Yeah.
4 years old, he's just an animal. He eats, he laughs, he just plays like any old little creature. Now he's becoming a different kind of creature. And that development took us through how many generations, how many hundreds of years or thousands of years, really? Not too many, actually, just a few, until we got to this point now, this peak where that phase of development. So we went from like animal up to this
Mm-hmm.
period we've been in now, and now we decide all of that progress, everything we built in
Yeah.
society was built exploiting others. We didn't realize it when we did it. We were just trying to get ahead, build businesses,
Yeah.
build societies.
Yeah.
We had a war, we had a this, but
Find new land. Sure.
find new land. Yeah, I mean, listen, we thought we were fighting the good fight. We thought God was on our side. We were
But
doing the right thing, but
all of it was egoistic drive that nature put in
everything
us.
was everything was an egoistic drive, and now we're discovering what was happening inside of us. So now it's like being that kid who lied the first time. Now we're having another awakening. At first, the kid kind of realizes by accident, oh, I can
Yeah.
lie. Now we have to realize again, oh, wow, look, we're all liars. Everything
Here's
we
a
built.
here's a quick forecast before we have to wrap up. I would think that the next stage of this everyone's lying to your face is becoming absolutely clear type of thing is we're gonna see the contrast. We're gonna see the obvious stark contrast, dissonance between where we can be and where we are. As a society, you know what I mean? It's going to become clear that we can create um, a completely different reality, but we're just not. We can create potentially. We can make everyone's lives better. It doesn't. We don't lack anything. We don't lack resources. We have the technology. We have everything we need. We have the knowledge. We have the communication infrastructure. Humans can actually create a very comfortable uh, life and even solve our balance of our problem with of imbalance with nature. We can solve all of that. It's going to become clear, I think, that we can solve all of that, and yet we are lying to ourselves that we can't because we just don't want to. We can't. We can't want that. We have to upgrade our desires, our intentions. We're going to become very revealed. I don't know how else to say it. I hope that fell on some ears as something clear. Anyway, what do you? How do we
Chris
conclude
reminded
this? Yeah,
reminded us here in the chat
yeah,
of what Rabash wrote, that when we see that we're lying, it's good because now we finally see the truth.
yes,
That is our nature. And then what happens from that, we understand that we are this big, big, giant minus, and we have a need for the big, big, giant plus. And between these two, this giant, giant minus, which is all of humanity, and the giant, giant plus with the upper light, We illuminate everything. We go through this great transition that we were talking about at the beginning. It will be great for everybody. Let's hold on to each other. Let's see
And,
everything that's happening through the lens, through the lens that the Kabbalists are giving us, and understand that it's all leading us towards this good place. And all of these are inner discernments inside of ourselves. We don't have any need to get angry at somebody on the outside. This is nature pulling the veil off for us as we move from our corporeal life into a new, harmonious, integrated spiritual existence.
and even if you get angry, but see the bigger picture. And maybe you can even feel, thanks to this wisdom, can help you feel, develop an actual feeling of the bigger picture, where you then see that all of our lies and deceit towards each other is part of our evolution. We're going to a higher place. So let's go faster, man. Let's just go faster. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody from all around the world. The chats were super, super active today. I even saw someone gave us a criticism for the first time in the chats. That was fun. So we'll see everybody. We accept everybody here. All your opinions, no problem. Next Tuesday, next Thursday, sorry, next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern,
2 p.m. Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern. Wow, I'm lost.
Wow.
Next
That's.
Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there,
Wait, are we
and
going to? It's gonna. How is that gonna work?
I'll already be at the Kabu retreat. I'll be broadcasting from there.
Right. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
we're gonna do it. Yeah,
Usual time, Thursday, 2
same
p.m.
time. Yep. And whoever's
And
gonna be at the Kabu retreat, look forward
yes,
to meeting you there in person, and anyone
yes,
virtual.
everyone who's gonna be at the retreat, this is gonna be a blast. This is gonna
It's
be
gonna be
a
amazing.
very uh, indescribable event, I'm sure. Something you won't forget. If by any chance you hear about this and you don't really know what we're talking about, but you want to come physically or virtually to the Cub retreat, then look into it. Go to cubuconnect.com, sign up as a member if you're not already one of the CubU members, and who knows, maybe you can even make it to the retreat. Give it a shot. Anyway, we'll see you there, whoever comes.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.